There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. The different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power, oh, one power, one power is what we are. One power, one power. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for its love that's most deep. It's one power. It's one power. What we are is one forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am blessed.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Lexington. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, you're welcome here. And we say good morning to Trish. She seems to be the only person chiming in this morning, so I hope to hear from some more. And I've got my specs on today because these are blue blockers. My eye surgery was 100% successful, so I don't need any eye correction, but sometimes my eyes get fatigued from being on screen and stuff. So, and I have I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me see. I have my pumpkin shirt on. I'm ready. Pumpkin weather. I love it. Love it. Love it. So I hope you enjoy the morning. I'm going to be talking about the F word, which is forgiveness. There are other F words out there. And yeah, it's going to be a really interesting morning, I think. I find the subject fascinating. The title of my talk is The Art of Forgiveness, and there is an art to it. We're going to talk about that. So let's get started with our opening song. And of course, we have, I like to switch it around. And so today we're going to have Margot Leduc do it, and keep her in your prayers. She's had some health challenges. I'm going to check with her this week, find out what's going on. Here's Margot.
I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Hi, thank you, Margot. Let's get started this morning. My name is Carol Mahaffey. I'm an ordained licensed Unity minister, and been at it for over 20 years and just love it still to this day. I'm just as excited today as I was the day I walked across the stage and accepted my diploma. That's no joke. I love it. I love being with you all. When it's time for me to pass on to the other realm, I just feel really good about what took place here. So thank you for being here and helping me to fulfill that dream that I had in 1997. Okay, be sure to let me know if you like prayer support. I have mailed off a couple of lists, and I've already heard back from Silent Unity that yes, we're going to pray with your prayer list. And they said they called it the prayer list, so I know they know what's up. And so I'm just thrilled about that. Okay, so we're going to start with praying for the peace the world over. We continue to hold all those affected by violence the world over in the light, in the healing light of God, the comforting light of God, the loving light of God. Please pray for Amber and Evelyn. They were affected. I don't know how, because Leslie hasn't sent me an update, but they endured the hurricane. Let me just put it that way. Also, Maxine, who endured the hurricane. She lives in Asheville. I think Amber and Evelyn, let me see if I have it down where they lived. No, I don't. So it's okay. There's no separation in spirit. God knows who we're praying for and where they are. And so we're praying for everybody that was affected as the result of the hurricane. And also Trish turns in some family names on that same subject of prayer and our focus of prayer. Alice and Shelley, I don't know where they are, but somebody's in, South Carolina is Alice and Shelley. Those are Trisha's relatives. And in Tampa are Ryan and Liz, and all those were affected by the hurricane. I think there's good news with everybody, but I'm just going to hold that wonderful thought. Okay. And I said earlier, please pray for Margot. She has a health challenge. Such a talented person. Pray for Steve. He's still facing health challenges. Christina, prosperity challenge. Reverend John, health challenge. Greg, health. Dr. David and his family, he recently made his transition. Yeah, I'll miss him dearly. Please pray for Deb, for health challenges. All these people coming are health challenges. Laura and Laura's husband, Phil, and he's going to have surgery this coming Monday. And Laura is a loyal person who stays with us every Sunday. And we send love to you and Phil, Laura, and we're just seeing him whole and well, total recovery. All right, let's pray for Wendy out in Arizona and her family, her brother Vic, her husband Dennis, her daughter Michelle, her sister Alice, grandchildren David, Joshua, Madison, Michael, Caleb, and Braden. And praying for Trish, her daughter Danielle, her brother Brian, and I mentioned earlier her family, Alice, Shelley, Brian, and Liz. all affected by the hurricane. We hope that they're doing fine. Some new people on the list, Malia and Dennis. That's sent in by Karen in Indiana. Pray for Ken. I got a fairly good report on him yesterday. He's the guy that was supposed to build my back deck. He had a heart attack, and then he had injured his hip and, oh my goodness, all kinds of things. But he's doing better. And then please keep me in your prayers. I'm still working with these 2 torn meniscus and see my knees healing whole and well. And then we continually ask for prayers for all the animals in the shelters. The shelters are full, and they're really full now with all this hurricane business. And our church did donate to American Society for Prevention of the Cruelty to Animals. I was pleased to send them and a Red Cross a check. Yes. So we have a footprint, on this planet. And also, if you want to ask me for prayer support, write Rev Carol at Unity, RevCarolUnity@gmail.com. So I'm seeing there's a reflection on these, so maybe we'll take them off for a while. And if my eyes start getting tired, I'll put them back on. Okay. So glad you're with me this morning. Yeah, let me hear from you guys, so I know you're out there. So our sacred reading for today is taken from a book I've had for many years. It's a collection of daily word. Has forewords in it by Fannie Flagg and Bernie Siegel, who wrote Love, Medicine, and Miracles. Remember that? All right. So today we chose the word for today, and you think, well, what does this have to do with anything? But you'll find out. The word for today is refreshing flow. And the affirmation for today is a refreshing, healing flow of forgiveness fills me and overflows from me. So maybe we can make this in the third person. A refreshing, healing flow of forgiveness fills us and overflows from us. An artesian well is a deep well, a well from which water flows up and out of naturally. It continually brings its fresh supply to the surface of the earth. We have a well of forgiveness that flows from us as a movement of spirit. That's God, spirit with a capital S, that renews us and all our relationships. It is natural for us to forgive, for the Spirit of God moves through us as love and a willingness to shape something positive out of something that may not have seemed positive. As we forgive, we are refreshed, for the Spirit of God moves through us as a cleansing, healing flow. In the flow of God's Spirit, every feeling of rejection, abuse, or misunderstanding is washed away. Forgiveness heals us and reaches out to others as an encouragement to acknowledge the Spirit of God within them and within all others. And again, the affirmation is a refreshing, healing flow of forgiveness fills us and overflows from us. So I really did like that. And so we're going to go to our meditation this morning, okay? And I have a good one for you on forgiveness. So all of us need to really think about forgiveness and what an important tool it is in our life. I hope you understand and know that and have experienced how it can transform your life to be willing to forgive. So I won't get into what I'm going to be talking about later, but by the end of the time that I complete my talk, you will understand and know why forgiveness is so, so important. Okay, so I just invite you to, if it's comfortable, to close your outer eyes. I hope you can hear the meditation music. And, okay, so just allow my words to be the words of your own heart, okay? All right. Today is a new day, and today we can begin again. Today we can heal ourselves and others through the singular, most powerful act, that of forgiveness. And I can't emphasize enough how important So let's just take a moment to free ourselves, to heal ourselves at depth, and to release ourselves from the bondage of unforgiveness, which just holds us so down. So I want you, or I invite you to close your eyes now and picture someone that you want to forgive. Someone you want to release. Picture yourself in that person, or persons plural, walking toward you. And all of you are enfolded in a golden light, a great golden light that penetrates the fog of unforgiveness, the mist of unforgiveness, which now begins to lift. You see their face and it's shining with a great light, these people that you wish to forgive. You see them, their face, this brilliant light coming from their face. You're seeing them as God sees them. You embrace one another, and now you say to them, you are forgiven, I am forgiven. We are released forever from any unforgiveness. Speak those healing words to them and to yourself. You are healed, I am healed. I behold the Christ in you, and you behold the Christ in me. Now I invite you to embrace these people or this person again. Now, in this beautiful golden light still shining all around. And now you see yourself in your mind's eye, turning away, but feeling so much lighter and so much freer. And now we're happy. We're happy and we're free. So I just invite you to go for a few moments into the silence and just listen for that still small voice of God to speak to you anything that needs to be known to help you to heal from unforgiveness. So let's just go into the silence together for a few moments, okay? And as we bring our attention back now to this time and place, send these persons that you need to forgive a loving thought and a healing thought. And that is the thought of, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I'm going to close with a very powerful thought. And I really want you to consider this thought because it's so profound. Forgiveness is the fragrance the trampled flower sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Forgiveness is the fragrance on the heel that the trampled flower sheds on the heel that crushed it. I just think that's so profound. So thank you, God. Thank you, God. So it is. Amen. And amen. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. That was Pete playing the meditative music. And I've told you many times about Pete and the fact that he had a major stroke over a year ago, but he's back playing with one hand in his band and for the churches. And if I still if we still met in well, I can't get it out. If we were still meeting in person, I would have him down here in a heartbeat to play for my church. So since we don't meet in person, the next best thing for me is to play Pete's CDs. And of course, I honor all of our musicians: Jamie Lula, Margola Duke, Daniel Namad, Karen Drucker. I can't think of the other girl's name, but I can see her. And Pete. I send them all love offerings from our church for playing their music. So, okay, guys, so we're going to get started. Now, this morning it's going to seem like I'm reading a lot, but I apologize for that. But sometimes it's called for, and this morning is one of those mornings that it is, because I don't want to miss any important points about what we're doing. So I'm going to begin by saying to you, what a finer way to learn to forgive than to study the example of those beautiful human beings who have taken the art of forgiveness to the highest degree. And there are several. But one of my favorite stories is about the freedom to forgive, is about Corrie ten Boom, that she tells about herself. And of course, she's got her angel wings now. But Corrie was a native of Holland, and she was liberated from a Nazi concentration camp a few days after the Allies conquered Germany. It took longer to be liberated from her simmering hate. Well, that's so freaking understandable. But she set out on the forgiving journey through her remembered pain and kept traveling until she arrived at the place where she forgave even the Nazis who had dehumanized her life in the camps. They had murdered her entire family. And her sister, who was also interred at the same camp she was, did not survive the harsh living conditions. The only personal item that she was able to smuggle into the camp was her Bible. I'm going to take a drink. Excuse me. I am so sorry. Wow. I had to mute my mic because y'all don't want to hear me coughing. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh, gosh. Don't leave. I'm coming back. The only personal item he was able to smuggle into the camp was her Bible. She and her sister found it to be their only comfort during those horrible times. Wow. In Munich one Sunday, she preached on forgiveness in a church. And outside, after the service was over, a major drama of the human spirit unfolded. A man walked over to her, reached out his hand to her, expecting her to take it. Ja, Fräulein ten Boom, I'm so glad that Jesus forgives us all of our sins, just as you say. Corrie knew him. She remembered how she was forced to take showers with other women prisoners while this beast looked on, a leering, mocking Superman guarding helpless naked women. Corrie remembered. He put his hand close to her. Her own hand froze at her side. She could not forgive. She was stunned and terrified by her own weakness. What could she do? She who had been so sure that she had overcome the deep hurt and the desperate hate and had arrived at forgiving. What could she do now that she was confronted by the man she could not forgive? She prayed, Jesus, I cannot forgive this man. Forgive me. At once, in some wonderful way that she was not prepared for, she felt forgiven. forgiven for not forgiving. At that moment, excuse me, I'm so sorry. In the power of the, I'm going to have to. Guys, I'm sorry. I may have to go off camera for a little bit. I apologize. Give me a moment. I don't know what's going on with my body, but okay. At that moment, in the power of fundamental feeling, her hand went up, took the hand of her enemy, and released him. In her heart, she freed him from this terrible past, and she freed herself from hers. Oh my gosh. So now I'm going to share with you what I consider to be one of the greatest and most powerful prayers ever uttered on this earth. This prayer continues to echo throughout the centuries, a timeless lesson in forgiveness. It's taken from Luke chapter 32, verse 34. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. You know, a doctor of divinity said that if Jesus had not uttered those words, he probably would not have experienced his own resurrection. Now, here's what Catherine Ponder, she has so many good things in her books about forgiveness that I've just really loved over the years and read and reread. Here's what she has to say in her book, Dynamic Laws of Healing. Catherine Ponder. The forgiving state of mind is a magnetic power for attracting good. No good thing can be withheld from the forgiving state of mind. She defines forgiveness as a type of a prayer of cleansing. And here's what she says. Forgiveness can dissolve whatever stands between you and your good, as it cleanses your mind, your body, and relationships, and it opens the way for your desires to become fulfilled. She says, it doesn't matter on what level in life you're experiencing this, but whatever level or experience problems, whatever level, she said, whenever she experiences things in life on any level that she's dealing with, problems, challenges, she gives herself a universal forgiveness treatment. She simply speaks the word of universal forgiveness for the situation, declaring that everybody and everything connected subconsciously joins her in forgiving whatever needs to be forgiven, thus dissolving the invisible cause of the problem. And this is her affirmative prayer, which I love. Christ in this situation is its forgiving power. The Christ in me forgives the Christ in you. The Christ in you forgives the Christ in me. And I think we said this during our meditation. We are all forgiven and governed by the divinity within us, and the perfect results now manifest. And it comes to mind to me what Myrtle Fillmore wrote in her book, Healing Letters, which is a fabulous book. And really what it is a book filled with answers that she gave to people who wrote to her. Their letters are not in there, but her responses are all in there. And she basically explains in one of the chapters about how, trying to deal with people on the personality level is fruitless. One more drink. She says that we have to be able to deal with one another on the Christed level. Yeah, I mean, that's important, okay? And that's why Catherine Ponder appeals on the Christed level. Okay, I'm going to go away for just a few minutes and get rid of this cough, and I promise you I will be back. Okay? Because this is ridiculous. I guess what I need, guys, is I don't want to be chewing a cough drop while I'm doing this, but I may have to. Okay, I profusely apologize. Oh, okay. So now I have something on a lighter note that I want to share with you that's really hilarious. I love Mark Twain. He was so funny and said so many things that such dry wit and tongue in cheek. I just enjoy it so much. In his autobiography, he concluded a tirade he had against a publisher who had once swindled him outrageously. Here's what Mark Twain said about him, the publisher. He has been dead a quarter of a century now, Twain wrote. I feel only compassion for him, and if I could send him a fan, I would. Oh my goodness. You know, the other thing I wanted to be before I started in ministry, I wanted to be a comedian, but I wasn't. I mean, it just didn't come natural to me. I had to struggle. But that would have been my profession if I could have managed it somehow, some way. Okay. I have a lot of quotes that I want to share with you that I think, again, I told you I was going to do a lot of reading, and I hope you're okay with that because they're so profound. Course in Miracles says this: all disease comes from a state of unforgiveness, and that whenever we are ill, we need to look around to see who it is that we need to forgive. So if we're sick, wow, I mean, that's not something that I just came up with on my own. And when I read it in Course in Miracles, I thought, that's fascinating. There could be something to it. So I try to do what our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, recommends that we do each evening as we retire. And that's to spend 30 minutes. It's called, he's written a little pamphlet. He wrote a little pamphlet called Sure Remedy. And he says that for 30 minutes, we should forgive everyone and everything. And he not only says we should forgive people, he says we should forgive organizations. Now, think about that. That's pretty interesting. We should forgive organizations. And during all these politically charged times, that makes sense. We should give one side or the other or both. I think both. But anyway, and we should forgive organizations and animals. But we can forgive people that we don't even personally know. You can forgive dictators and mean-spirited people all over the world. We could forgive them. And that's what we were taught by our master teacher. It's not an outlandish thought. I mean, he taught that thousands of years ago. Okay, Louise Hay says we do not have to know how to forgive. All we need to do is to be willing to forgive. The universe takes care of the how, she says. And I believe she was right. I really do. Now, Emily Cady was a New Thought author and teacher. And really, Unity uses her book, Lessons in Truth, it's called. Lessons in Truth, as kind of a little Bible. And it's got some really good stuff in it. Here's what she had to say about it. The very pain that you suffer, the very failure to demonstrate over some matter, in other words, to bring forth your healing or to bring prosperity forth or whatever, heal a relationship. The very failure to demonstrate over some matter that touches your own life deeply may rest upon just this spirit of unforgiveness that you harbor toward the world in general. Unforgiveness. It's really toxic. I don't care how small you think it is of not forgiving somebody, how small a bit of unforgiveness has crept into your life and my life. It is incredibly powerful. It's like a spiritual nuclear energy. It really is, because it can destroy your spirit. It says in our sacred writings, it dries up your spirit like the bones of the dead. I mean, they're not talking about you dying physically, but they're talking about dying in spirit. You've met people like that. I have. Okay, she says, put it away with resolution. Those are those things we make at the first of the year. Well, do it now. Don't wait till the first of the year. Make a resolution. You're going to get rid of all unforgiveness in your life. Now, I don't think I have mentioned it. I have it on my paper that I wrote everything down, but there's a resentment prayer in the book of AA. And I'm a member of AA. I've been a member of AA for 28 years. And AA knows how resentment can cause a person to drink. And it certainly did cause me to drink. That was the reason I drank. Resentment. Feeling like a victim, feeling like other people had done things that really hurt me and I couldn't get past it and I couldn't forgive them. So it says in the book of AA that you come across, and I'm paraphrasing, but you come across a person lying on a couch sick physically. Would you yell at them? No. Would you not forgive them why would you hold it against them being sick? You wouldn't. And AA said it's the same with their spirit. They're sick spiritually, and you have to forgive them, for they know not what they do. Right? Okay, so here's a little. I'll give you another quote from Joan Borysenko. She was a really prolific writer back in the 80s. She wrote Fire in the Soul. Fire in the Soul. She said in that book, forgiveness is not the misguided act of condoning irresponsible, hurtful behavior, nor is it a superficial turning of the other cheek that leaves us feeling victimized and martyred. Rather, it is the finishing of old business that allows us to experience the present, free of contamination of the past. I love that. So here's a true story about Leonardo da Vinci. When he was painting The Last Supper, he became really angry with a man and lashed out at this other guy. And he even threatened the guy. And then he went back to his fresco to finish painting. And guess what? He was trying to paint the face of Jesus. He couldn't, for there was so much anger stirring inside of me. He could not paint the face of Jesus. The lack of peace forced him to put down his brushes, climb down his ladder, go find the man, and ask for that man's forgiveness. Only then did he have the inner calm needed to paint the face of his master. Wow. Wow. That's really amazing. Okay. So I have a story to share with you about my dad. Okay. And you know what? You think, well, why is she reading it and referring to a written paper? Because I don't want to leave anything out. Okay. I don't want to leave anything out about this, because this was life-changing for me. And there may be someone in your life who has been abusive, who has mistreated you deeply as a child. And I think it'd really be good for you to hear this story. So my personal experience with forgiveness has to do with my father. When I was 10 years of age, he and my mother were separated, and ultimately he moved to California. And when he had not shown up for several weeks, my mom let me phone the landlady where he lived. She was the one who told me he had moved and not left any forwarding address. So from the time I was 10 years old until I was 18, I had no word from my father. Neither did my sister. I had one sister. She got her angel wings now. No child support, no letters, no phone calls, nothing. But during the month of my 18th birthday, my father phoned my mother and asked to see me. Although she told him she was sure that I would not want to see him, that wasn't the case. I did make the decision to meet with him. So my heart was somewhat open, I will say that. He had remarried and his wife was with him, and I remember he took us out to dinner that night. What I don't remember is any discussion at all about where he'd been for the last 8 years and why I had not heard anything from him. Not one word was spoken about that. To this day, I find it incredible that I did not have the courage to speak up and say, where the hell have you been for 8 years? I don't know. Oh my gosh. But anyway, it was one of the most tragic events in my life. And yet I did not have the courage at the time. I'm not beating up on myself, but I look at it sometimes with wonder. Okay, every year after that, my sister and I were flown by my dad to California, first class. First class, I can remember being served lobster. What's that lobster dish? Is so awesome. I can't remember. Champagne, all that kind of stuff. It was crazy. Disneyland. He took us everywhere. He lavished us with gifts and all of that. I always told him I loved him every time we talked. Every time we talked, I always told him I loved him when we left to return back home. But I had not fully forgiven. I don't know if there's any of you out there that can identify with this, but I had not fully forgiven him. I told him I loved him. I went through all those motions, but I had not fully forgiven. I wanted to. I was like Corrie ten Boom, but I just couldn't, not completely. But I do remember my stepmother telling me, and I was in my 20s at the time, that Daddy would go out into the backyard and cry because he was so lonely for us. She said he missed us horribly all those years. And I remember thinking, but I didn't respond verbally. Well, he deserves to feel bad because he never contacted us. He never sent anything. He never did anything. At the time she said these words to me, I was oblivious to the opportunity to forgive. I really was. The soil of my consciousness, that story in our sacred writing, was hard. The seed was falling, but it was not going anywhere because the soul of my consciousness was hard as a brick. Had no place. The seed of God had no place to take root in it. I did not have, is what our master teacher says, ears to hear. I spent many years trying to forgive my dad. I began to pray, finally, that I would be able to forgive him fully, particularly following his sudden death in 1991. One afternoon, now we're talking 1995, 4 years after my father's transition, I had finished meditating. I was still struggling with it. During this meditation, I had been asked why I was continuing to have difficulty forgiving my father. Spirit was questioning me. But I looked out the sliding glass doors to the patio, the home I was in at the time, and saw, as if it were a movie playing. That's what it looked like. Like, shoot, here came this movie, this 360-degree cinematic movie. I saw my father sitting in a swing set that I didn't have out there. And I saw his shoulders heaving with every sob. I stood there frozen, looking out in astonishment. And then I heard a voice repeating the words that my stepmother had said to me more than 30 years before. I had forgotten those words, but now they washed over my soul, and I was engulfed in compassion for my father. Then I heard another voice telling me that I had been given the gift of divine understanding. You got something hard going on in your life? Ask God for the gift of divine understanding. At that moment, my heart opened so wide, and I felt my father's full sorrow and grief rush in to fill it. I had never known this encompassing feeling of such love and compassion as I felt in that moment. Absolutely nothing in my life have I ever experienced, and since then, before then, compares to it. All I know was that God flooded my soul with a love that was unconditional. And for those few brief moments, I had wished that this was real, that I could go out into my backyard and I could hug him and tell him I was sorry. It changed my life. And I apologize, but forgiveness calls for tears at times. It really does. And since that moment, I have never held in my life ever an unkind thought about my father. So I share this painful story, it really kind of is to relive it, because I know how hard my heart was before that happened. That's the kind of thing God can do in your life. God can take your heart that may be hard as a piece of concrete and change it into the most loving heart on earth, really. And I don't exaggerate. I truly don't. So I encourage you, whatever's going on in your life, if there's any kind of unforgiveness, do this work. Do this work. Don't give up in the face of apparent failure if you haven't been able to forgive, but do it. The work of prayer and meditation will yield you the fruit of divine understanding, the fruit of forgiveness, but you have to persist. The work and the wait were certainly worth it for me. I just can't. Oh. I shared that story, and the reason I had it even written down was because when I was in ministerial school, it was part of an assignment we had. And my instructor at the time said, "Carol, thank you. A powerful experience of forgiveness and what it does for the forgiver." Okay. I hope I'm quit crying for now. Oh, guys, yeah, I'm sorry. I've coughed and cried through this whole tape. And if you all have hung in there with me, I so love you for it, because I'm not sure I would have. Yeah. Well, I don't know. My family used to make fun of me and tell me that I would, they used to have, what do you call it? They used to have openings for... they would have grocery store openings, and somebody made fun of me one time and said that I would have cried at a grocery store opening. I probably, no, I wouldn't. That's crazy. But anyway, so I'm going to close this morning, this talk, with a grace prayer that is really wonderful. And if someone will write me an email, I'll post it on Facebook. Lord, for thee I thirst. Into thy hands I commit my spirit, soul, and body, all unforgiveness and all experiences. Thy will is my will. Thy will be done through me. Heal me at depth. Reveal what needs to be healed, so I may glorify you and live in the fullness of your grace, God. Amen. Beautiful prayer. I love it. I've kept it. I recently cleaned out my office. I've been working at it for quite a while because I want to spend the winter painting. And so I'm getting ready, everything ready, so I don't have anything else to do than, just my artwork. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the talk. And I'm going to share a song with you that I really feel like speaks to this. And I made some notes I'm going to share them with you before I start the song. Okay. Well, let's see if I can't get it here. All right. It's called "Do It Anyway." I think can't think of that girl's name. She's a country singer. She sang it, but I'm having Margot sing it again. But I really studied the lyrics when I chose this song. She talks about building in the lyrics, building, dreaming, believing, singing, and she says, love them anyway. And one of the lyrics is, I love anyway. And I just thought this song was so about forgiveness. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back on the other side. Okay. Thanks again for putting up with me. Thank you. I love you all so much.
You can spend your whole life building something from nothing. One storm can come and blow it all away. Build it anyway. You can chase a dream that seems so out of reach, and you know it might not ever come your way. Dream it anyway. 'Cause God is great, and sometimes life ain't good. And when I pray, doesn't always turn out like I think it should. But I do it anyway. I do it anyway. This world's gone crazy, and it's hard to believe that tomorrow will be better than today. Believe it anyway. You can love someone with all your heart for all the right reasons, and in a moment they can choose to walk away. Love them anyway. God is great, and sometimes love ain't good. And when I pray, doesn't always turn out like I think it should. But I do it anyway. I do it anyway. You can pour your soul out singing a song you believe in, that tomorrow they'll forget you ever sang. Sing it anyway. Sing it anyway. do it anyway.
Oh, woo! I love them anyway. So that's what you're being asked to do. And I really hope that the ideas and the quotes and personal story and things I've shared with you this morning will make it your path to forgiveness easier. You'll never regret forgiving someone. You'll never regret forgiving anyone, anything, ever, ever. I think a long time ago, I recommended that you read the book, The Little Soul and the Sun by Neale Donald Walsch. It really drives home the reason why we want to forgive. And if you wonder what the reason is, I recommend you get the book. You could probably get it at your local library. I wouldn't think it'd be that expensive on Amazon. The artwork is fabulous. The artwork is by a Chinaman, I think, a guy from China. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Maybe he was Japanese, but I regret I don't remember his name. I think it was Key or something like Kee. Anyway, really, really wonderful. So, okay, now, last week I was a little confused and I couldn't remember if I was going to be back today or not. Obviously, I am. Next week, we're having our potluck locally. So Reverend Jerry Troyer will be here with you. And I know you, and I heard from you all that you did enjoy him. I know you'll enjoy him again. And he did that service to perfection. I mean, it's a lot, and of course, our church gives him a love offering to do it and everything, but it's a lot to remember. And I think his honorarium is like 150. I think I ended up giving him 200 because I said, you're so worth any extra money because he just got it so right the first time. And I'm just really honored that he's going to be back. I don't know about November, what's going to happen, if we're going to have a potluck, if we're going to or not, if we're going to have Daniel Nahmod in person or not. I don't know. That's still all up in the air, but I have to tell you right now, it's not looking real positive. So probably we may have a potluck in November, and Daniel Nahmod will have to remain on CD, not on CD, but audio. Okay, guys. Well, again, 1,000 apologies for what happened with me. I just love you all dearly, and you're hanging in there and giving me such sweet affirmations about my presentation this morning. So I might get my daughter to go back and edit some of it. If you want to watch it again, you'll have to listen to me cough and sneeze and carry on or sniffle. I hope y'all have a wonderful week, and I will miss you next week, but Reverend Jerry will be here. I don't guess I'm going to have a class. I never really heard from anybody whether the class I had, that they could hear it or enjoyed it or didn't like it. So you might want to write me and let me know, and then I know whether to do that or not again, but it didn't seem like it was very helpful. So anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Have a wonderful, this weather is glorious. It's glorious. And I'm going to show you my pumpkin again. Look at here. I'm ready for Thanksgiving and Halloween. Everybody on my street, not everybody, lots of people on my street are decorating, including me. Love you guys. Bye. Bye.